think actually in a CMO there are two things which I think are more critical than anything else. One is the ability to connect with the rest of the organisation. So if you can't influence and drive the rest of the organisation, then you may be the most brilliant marketeer, but actually don't have a business impact. So and to do that, you have to understand the rest of the business and how it actually works. So connection with the business and the ability to influence the business. The other bit is almost a nagging reminder of how important the customer is and the ability to put the customer in the room in every conversation. So, you know, being the champion of the customer, but at the same time being able to connect to the business reality, and they're two quite different skill sets. I think there are a couple of things that are really important if you do want to be a CEO. And by the way, I don't think that's necessarily compulsory for everyone, and it's not. You know, some people are much happier doing other things. What I think really sort of top of mind is most important is the understanding of the different functions in an organisation, because there is a danger that any function, but you know, particularly probably marketing, because it maybe doesn't see the rest of the organisation, tends to look through the world through its lens. It doesn't really understand what's actually like to run operations, what's it like to be in finance, what's it like to be in the supply chain. And so the really important thing is to get out into the rest of the business. In a perfect world, work in the rest of the business and actually see what that's like. The other probably top tip, I think, would be get very comfortable with the numbers. And that's not just a sort of excuse to talk about the P&L. It's increasingly in a digital world, it's being able to work with big data and actually be numerate as opposed to just sort of, you know, the classic arts graduate who quite likes this stuff. Now, I'm being a bit unfair on some of the marketeers, but there are some brilliant people who I think are occasionally more interested in the creative output than they are in the business output. And those people, frankly, won't get to be CEOs because they shouldn't be CEOs. I think the most important thing about sustainability in business is working out how it shows up in your business. So what's your contribution as a company and as a leader to sustainability? Because you start with saying, I want to have a business that's sustainable, I'd like it to be around in 40 years' time as opposed to be falling over because it's based on an unsustainable business model. But the critical thing is it's got to be commercial, it's got to be relevant to the business, as opposed to just a sort of vanity project or something that you might like to do because it's a worthy bit of philanthropy. Philanthropy is great. Sustainable business is much more grounded in the mission and purpose of the business. That's the thing we need to see more of. I think if I asked about the bravest thing, I've probably done two things which I was seriously outside the comfort zone. One was a conventional one, which is I did a bungee jump, jumped off a bridge in New Zealand, and I hate heights. I wanted to see if I could do it. The other one was in the cause, actually ironically, I challenged my management team to get out of their comfort zone, and we put on a musical production in an afternoon, 200 people. I then had to dress up as a bird and dance and sing, and that was the most excruciating thing I think I've done, but good fun afterwards.